I'm male 27, am gay. My mom and dad were amazing, and I felt nothing but love and acceptance from them. My uncle, on the other hand, is an idiot. He's my mom's baby brother, and ever since I came out, he's been avoiding me and telling everyone that I shouldn't be setting myself against God's will for my life. At a family get-together where I was a teen, he ran over and took my cousins away from the area while I was playing with him because I shouldn't be alone with children. He's one of those guys. So my parents are out of town visiting my grandparents, and I work from home in my own house. His two older kids are away at school, and his babies are 7 and 5. My aunt is having elective surgery and will be in recovery for a couple of days. He had some kind of work emergency and showed up at my house with my little cousin. He said he needed to go to work and can I please watch my cousin for the day? I laughed at him, said no, and slammed my door in his face. My husband heard the slam and came down to ask what had happened. When I told him, he said I was burning bridges. My uncle was nice to me growing up. He used to take me out for rides in his old Jeep. He was my hero, dropping me like I was nothing when I came out. I don't think I owe him anything. But now my parents are calling me, saying that I'm acting immature and that family is there for each other. He wouldn't even come to my wedding. He's treated me like crap since I came out, but I was impolite after he tried to get me to watch my cousins in an emergency. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, but your parents, uncle, and husband are. You just returned the favor when he slammed the door in your face years ago. If the family's there for each other according to your parents, where were they with that sentiment when your uncle was being a fool and not attending your wedding? Agreed. He burnt that bridge a long time ago. The last part where he said he didn't come to his wedding sealed it for me. You'll see who your real friends and family are when you get married. I had people travel across the country to be there, and others who lived 30 minutes away who couldn't be bothered. I'm sorry, but that bridge was already burned. The uncle burned it, and OP confirmed it. I hate this mentality so many people have, that it's up to the victim to be the bigger person and build bridges with the people who hurt them, when the people that hurt them aren't even apologizing. Uncle just needed to use him and would go back to hating him after he picked up his kids. Yeah, I want to know if OP's parents called his uncle immature and lectured him that family's there for each other. Why does this because family guilt only ever seem to get directed towards the person who was wronged first? Also, according to the uncle, this fellow shouldn't be alone with children, so he's just respecting his uncle's boundaries. Exactly. Uncle took his kids away from playing with OP at a family gathering because he shouldn't be alone with children and hasn't had contact with OP for years. But now he thinks it's okay to leave even younger children with a grown man? Oh, no, no, no. Do not trust Uncle. And I would point out this discrepancy to anyone who says OP is an idiot. Uncle stopped being OP's family a long time ago. My husband, 37 male, and I, 38 female, have a toddler son. We both work full-time, so our son is in daycare during the week. My job sometimes requires me to work weekends. It's much more common in the fall due to some types of programs we run with the public. For September and October, I will probably work 2 to 3 weekends each month. I know this puts a lot of extra childcare on my husband, and he's told me numerous times that he doesn't like this aspect of my job because it limits his free time. When I have to work weekends, I take a day off during the week, but I use that day for errands and housework. I'm not off getting coffee and drinks with friends. I'm doing stuff for our family. Yesterday, I had a huge program at work. It was a big event open to the public. I had to be there by 6:30 a.m., and I didn't get home until after 6 p.m. I was wiped out. When I got home, all I wanted to do was get ready for bed, since I knew I'd be taking today, off. But I did hang out with our son and helped him prepare for bed before I crashed at 8:30 p.m. At about 2 a.m., our son woke up coughing and had a slight fever. I'm a light sleeper, so I woke up and tried to get him back to sleep, but he wouldn't go back down. I was still exhausted, so I woke up my husband and told him he needed to get up and help with our son because he won't go back to sleep, and I had zero energy. He grumbled about it a little bit, but he did get up so I could get some more rest. My husband woke me up this morning to tell me that he was leaving for work and that our son had still not gone back to sleep. He said he got tired of trying, so he turned on the TV and let our son watch cartoons while my husband tried to sleep on the couch. I asked him how he was feeling, and he said, "Well, I have to go to work after hanging out with a sick toddler all night, so I feel pretty crappy." I tried to apologize, but he cut me off and told me he didn't want to hear it. He said I knew I had today off, and I could have done more to help with our son so that he didn't have to stay up with him all night and then go to work. I told him he could take the day off and we could all stay home together, and he reminded me that he had clients flying in from out of state that he's meeting with today. I had completely forgotten that he told me that last week. He left without saying anything else to me, and I won't lie, he looked exhausted. I feel bad, but I had a long day and I needed the rest. I didn't plan on our son getting sick, but of course he fell asleep as soon as my husband left for work. I texted my husband that he finally got to sleep, and he replied, "Why the heck would you even tell me that? But at least you two can get some rest now." He hasn't replied to any of my other texts. You are the idiot. Parenting is 24/7. You don't get to pick and choose when you're a parent because you want to enjoy a day off and sleep in. If your child was sick, you have a responsibility to tend to him, just like your husband does. You should have done it because your husband had to work the next day. That's just inconsiderate of you. I was with you until you started with the entitled lament. I was exhausted. I had the day off. I didn't plan for the kid to get sick. OP, every working and not working parent is exhausted, and you had the day off. So you're double the idiot for not even considering your hubby's schedule. Not the idiot. I feel people in general are really unfair about men versus women working a 12-hour shift. She probably woke up at 4 a.m. to get to work at 6 a.m. and spent 12 hours at work. She did help with childcare when she got home. It probably felt fair that the next time the baby needed help, it was the husband's turn. It's ridiculous to say that she had the next day off because she shouldn't be tired, but at the same time, say her husband had reason to be exhausted after having 2 days off. I, female 30, had my son 2 weeks ago. I gave birth at a private hospital, and my husband requested to take a video of our son being born, and I refused because it involved my privacy, but then I agreed after he said he wanted to keep it as a memory for us as a family. Last night we were visiting my in-laws, and I caught a glimpse of the video on my sister-in-law's phone. My throat closed up from the shock. The video was muted. I asked if my husband had sent her that video. She said yes. As a matter of fact, he shared it with the whole family. I couldn't bear it. I just walked into the kitchen where he was sitting playing a board game with his dad and blew up at him. I asked how he could do this to me, and he played dumb for a minute. I mentioned the video and how he shared what is considered private content with his family without even getting my consent. He acted like it was no big deal, but I kept scolding him. Finally, he yelled back, saying that this was not about me and that his family deserved to witness our son's first moments in his life. Finally, his mom came in, asking what the commotion was about, and his dad offered to get everyone to delete the video as a solution. His mom sided with him and agreed that it was about their grandbaby's first moments. I felt so overwhelmed I decided to leave. He came home later, saying that I made him look small when I started yelling and scolding him in front of his family. He insisted it wasn't about me and that he shared a video of the baby. He didn't understand how I took it, as he invaded my privacy and disrespected me. I refused to speak to him after that, and he's still acting hurt that I treated him poorly in front of his parents when I could have talked to him about it privately. He chose to push your boundaries on taking the video. He decided to lie about his intentions to gain consent for the video. He shared that video without your knowledge or consent. He minimized and blew off your feelings about all of the above and tried to flip it onto you instead. Don't you dare apologize to that man. You are not the idiot, 100%. Family deleting the video is a start, but will not fix the whole situation and the shattering of trust. He needs to acknowledge the enormity of what he's done and how he's manipulated and lied. He needs to appreciate exactly what he's done and offer some way to improve this. Wow, my mouth is on the floor. I can't believe he did that to you. I'm so sorry. I'd be filing a lawsuit against him and then divorcing him. What he did is unforgivable. I'm so sorry he did this to you. Someone in his family should have jumped on him as soon as they received that video, and told him how inappropriate it was for him to share your most personal private moment with anyone. Depending on where you live, that is in fact illegal. I'd also have the family deleted, or you'll be going no contact because that's a huge breach of privacy. This is divorce-worthy in my book. What other boundaries doesn't he respect? Take a long look at your marriage because I find it hard to believe this is the only red flag. Get a divorce lawyer. If I were you, OP, I would want to put no effort into this man or marriage. I would have my family over to help me pack up and leave him. There are men out there who would treat you with respect and be overwhelmed with gratitude that you had their baby. Your husband is not one of them. Leave him. My husband and I have been together for 2 years. We had a beautiful cat named Molly, whom he didn't have any issues with until recently. Last week, he kept complaining about how the cat was annoying him and how her meowing distracted him from working. I replied to his complaints, asking why he was just bringing it up when we've had the cat for a year. He went off. He started yelling about how he put up with the cat because he loved me and that he couldn't bear to break it to me that he hated cats. I felt betrayed and angry since he wasn't honest with me from the start. The night ended with him apologizing and telling me that he didn't really want the cat, and so I agreed to give Molly to my cousin, as I knew they would take great care of her. In addition, they live a few minutes away, so it would give me a good opportunity to visit her frequently. He seemed on board and I trusted him. The next morning, Molly was gone. I originally thought she had escaped or run away until my husband told me that he had sold her. I was distraught. He sold her to a random person on Gumtree without doing proper background checks and forms. I was furious and kicked him out. He's now texting me, calling me stupid for kicking him out, and saying that he didn't deserve any of this. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Go claim your cat back. He had no right to sell something that belonged to you. Take it to small claims if you have to. And don't let your husband back in, ever. If someone can do this, knowing how much they'll hurt you, who knows what else they might do? That's solid grounds for divorce. Throw his stuff out into the street and change the locks. Dude, if my husband sold my cat after I'd already set up a place for the cat to go, who does that? This is not normal human behavior, utterly without empathy or kindness. I wonder if he needed the money for something. You need to find the Gumtree account, contact the person and tell them the cat is yours and was stolen. Get the police involved if you have to. Then keep the kitty and get rid of the horrible husband. I'm surprised OP let him convince her to give the cat away. I would never let someone come between my kitties and me, ever. OP, he had this planned before you worked out a compromise. You were going to wake up to your cat gone that morning, whether you agreed to rehome it or not. Get your cat back. Sell the husband. Update. I think Molly's been found. I contacted shelters near me and asked friends to be on the lookout. One of my mutual friends worked at an animal shelter and confirmed receiving a multicolored Scottish fold yesterday. I think we've done it. Fingers crossed, I'm going tomorrow. Thank you to everyone for their kind words and support. As for my ex-husband, I filed for divorce. He's never coming back into my life. Thank you again. Words cannot express how grateful I am. I'm living for your use of past tense in the comments about your relationship, as you should. Out of curiosity, though, how out of character is this behavior for him? He must have known you wouldn't be okay with selling the cat to a stranger, and you already had a plan to rehome Molly to a trusted family member. It's just so odd, especially if you've never seen this side of him before. As others said, it sounds like money might have been a factor. Be careful if you have a shared bank account and cancel all of your joint credit cards. He's been hiding who he really is for 2 years. I hope we can get an update when you find Molly. I have 2 daughters. My biological daughter, Alicia, young child, and my stepdaughter, Marissa, teen. I started dating my wife, Natalie, 2.5 years ago, and we've been married for 7 months. Marissa's father is, to be blunt, a narcissistic idiot, and Natalie works long hours. So while there were some issues at first, we've gotten really close. Plus, Alicia completely loves and looks up to her big sister. My sister, May, has been planning her wedding. I'm the best man. She wanted Alicia to be her flower girl, and our nephews were both involved. They want a child-free wedding, but made an exception for every niece and nephew aside from Marissa. I understand not having Marissa in the wedding party, but having all the cousins but Marissa at the wedding isn't right. I tried to talk to May about it, but it's gone poorly. She thinks it's fine, that Marissa doesn't have a role, so there's no reason to bring her, that she doesn't want more children at the wedding, that she barely knows Marissa, so it's not the same as Alicia. So it would be me, Nat, and Alicia there, as well as all the cousins, but Marissa has to stay home. While I can see where she's coming from, I don't agree at all. I told May that if she excludes Marissa, Alicia and I won't be coming. She's furious about me not supporting her, losing the flower girl and the best man, and thinks I'm being selfish. I've tried to avoid fighting over it, and just to repeat that I won't attend and stay out of it, but May is furious, and my parents and brother have been badgering me about it as well. Everyone thinks I'm being unreasonable, that it's May's choice, but that doesn't mean I have to be okay with it. She can make her choice and I'll make mine. I've made so much progress trying to show Marissa that she's family and loved, and I'm not going to let them treat her like an outsider. Still, I've been getting a lot of pressure from my family, and I may be being unreasonable. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, but May is the idiot. No children is fine. No children except nieces and nephews is fine. But no children except nieces and nephews, but not including that one, is ridiculously arbitrary and just plain nasty. And she's not supporting you by trying to exclude your stepdaughter. What is it about weddings that makes so many brides, grooms, and mother of the brides and groom go all irrational? It's not a child-free wedding if there are certain hand-selected children there. Having a child-free wedding is fine, provided you understand that most people with kids aren't willing to sacrifice their limited babysitter time and budget for your wedding. However, having a wedding where you hand-select certain children to be your photo props and then resent them being there the rest of the time is what May is doing, and it isn't a child-free wedding. Yeah, the optics are especially horrible if the bride wants to use Marissa's sister Alicia as the flower girl. Props to you for sticking up for a child instead of bowing to the demands of an unkind bride. Lord help the world if she decides to have children. Stay home with both of your children, OP.